said, some of these things that you're describing, I mean, I came out at 4 o'clock, so I can't do anything about in terms of like what's happened previously. All I can do is kind of work forward. I feel like I've been trying to do that for you, so.
I don't think what we really fully understood until speaking with the doctors, what everybody's functions were and who they were. Like that's the charge nurse and this is your job, and that there's a CNA. Usually when I have somebody in the hospital, I refer to this up here. But I don't know how much people still use those with everything being digital. So as long as we can get somebody to help us understand, that'd be rad. But I think it's perfectly human nature to be in a scary situation and go this long and feel scared and upset.
Absolutely. I'm a nurse. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you mostly do for him then? Like the IV stuff?
Medications, assessments, keeping track of the heparin drip. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the CNA?
They can come in and help with like vitals. They can help like you get up to go to the bathroom. They can walk you.
Okay.
They can help set up food for you.
And then the people that bring the food are like a different sort of, they're like food service, or are those also medical staff, like the meal deliverers?
No, they're not. Yeah, they're
Okay.
just part of the food service. So.
Okay. And then the doctor that's on call here sees him and the other patients. Will she be the doctor he's seeing for most of the time, do you know?
So yeah, I mean, once you get kind of admitted to a hospital unit, you end up having a primary doctor, which is part of the, let's see, I have a little bit of bleeding here. It's therapeutic right now, so your heparin's at a good level. I brought in a couple extra gauze we can put on, but we'll just have to keep holding pressure right there.
Okay.
So your blood is therapeutically, the last check was good. It was within kind of the range that we wanted.
That's great.
Obviously, I said I don't want you to disconnect from the IV again because we want that to keep running. I'm sorry someone didn't tell you that. But the medical, the doctor that kind of manages your care here is a hospitalist, and so they're kind of like the one putting in the orders, and then the nurses kind of like follow those orders.
Okay.
And then if you have any consulting services, so that would be pulmonology, cardiology, or whatever your needs might be, they come in and they kind of come see you as well, and then they provide some recommendations. So
are you big enough to have that here for him? Or I guess what we're trying to figure out is they admitted him under an assumption of what was wrong, right, and how he would respond, but they did mention they weren't sure if this hospital was going to have everything he needed when they admitted him. So I would be curious, is Tacoma General, I don't want to be insulting to like your hospital.
That's fine. I'm a travel nurse.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so
I've worked for a
do you
long
think
places,
would
so.
Tacoma General be better set up due to size to run the tests the other doctors asked about?
So I think you have two considerations.
Okay.
One is you have an acute issue right now. You have clots in your lungs, right? So it's like you need to address that acute issue that's causing you to be short of breath.
Okay.
Walking. That's being addressed right here. You might have some underlying issues that need to be followed up on so that you're not coming into the hospital in the similar sort of situation again in the future.
Gotcha.
Those are not necessarily mutually exclusive, but at the same, like, you need to address the acute issue right now, and whether some of those like larger term things get addressed while you're in the hospital, or you need to like start unfortunately seeing cardiologists and pulmonologists. And that's the thing I can't answer for you, and I don't know if that's the question or what.
That answered it right there, is that you're treating it, for lack of a better term, kind of in tiers. So the acute is the lung clots. There may be other stuff, but first step is the lung clots, or whatever, PEs, I guess you say.
You need to address that first and foremost, because you're not, how's that doing right there?
I think it's good.
Yeah. You're obviously going to be at a higher risk for bleeding and bruising because you're on that right now.
Right.
So yeah, you need to address, this is how all hospitals work, every hospital I've ever been at. Address the acute issues. Most patients who come in with an acute, not most, a lot of patients come in with acute issues whatever they are. And they have underlying stuff that they had
Right.
no idea about.
That makes
The
sense. Yeah.
hospitalization just like kickstarts, unfortunately, a process in which you go through and have to then follow up with all sorts of people outpatient. And so whether you see that inpatient or not, I don't know if like they need you to follow up inpatient or not. I don't know, and that's the thing, is like,
Well, I feel like if it were dire, it would be in notes somewhere, right?
you would
Like,
be, yeah, if you were having like, if you were in the ICU, you would have seen a pulmonologist and a cardiologist maybe.
and if he needed to see them, they would have put him in the ICU, right? Okay.
Not
Oh,
necessarily.
okay.
No, I mean, I feel like ICU is kind of when you're sick enough that you necessitate a level of care that's beyond this. This is you're on the obviously the cardiac monitor, so we've got you, but you're in like a PCU, so this is a progressive care unit.
Progressive
so
care unit.
Not,
Okay.
It's not a ICU.
Okay. It's like meeting